now bush breeze here. Good evening, you're watching NewsNow. We're interrupting our normal schedule to bring you breaking news of possible electoral fraud. NewsNow's election night was cancelled and the Electoral Commission has delayed the results to conduct what they've called extra vetting and ensure total veracity and legitimacy. There is a lot of speculation of electoral fraud, and this delay is extremely unprecedented compared to other elections. The Electoral Commission so far has said that no party leader is to blame at this current moment in time. We'll be receiving expert analysis and call-ins throughout the night, but first, let's go to our reporter in the field, James Akeson, in Glasgow. James, what's it looking like?
Hi Dean, thanks a million. So yeah, I'm in Glasgow tonight. At the moment it's calm enough, but more and more people are joining. It's starting to get a bit rupturous here. There's all walks of life here, really, from your average citizen up to political leaders. The Sinn Féin leader, I was actually just speaking to him there. He's quite worried about the events that could happen, so I guess it's just a wait and see what happens. But people are very annoyed, and I think that's perfectly understandable, to be honest. But yeah, that's really all. That's all I've got to say.
Do the people of Glasgow have a unified message right now? Is anyone calling for the counting of the election results to stop or anything like that?
I think really the most notable and really common theme through the whole thing is that people are, I think they're just annoyed, but it's the fact that they don't know who to direct the annoyance to. Obviously, the Electoral Commission came out and said at the moment there's no party to blame, so I think it's just they're all annoyed, but they just don't know who to be annoyed at. So it's kind of that gap, that void, and it's that concern that could lead therefore to violence and could lead to riots and stuff. As we all know, the Irish do love a good riot. So yeah, so the common theme is really we're not happy, but we're just not sure what to do.
I've had my fair share experiencing riots. Have there been any violent scenes at all in Glasgow? Has there been any clashes or demonstrations?
Yeah, 100%. I think maybe 5 minutes ago there was a car that was being burnt just up the street from me, and there was a minor skirmish between protesters, just a few bricks being thrown and whatnot, but it seems to have died down. The majority of the people here are actually focused right in front of me, and Sinn Féin leaders, he's actually spouting at the moment. He says that he completely condemns electoral fraud and that he hopes that it could be sorted very soon. But I think there's the real common message here is that they want to know the election results and they don't want their democracy tampered with, and I think that's completely fair. I'm sure you can see the people behind me here saying stop the count, so yeah, it's just that common message,
Mm-hmm. And has there been a large presence of the Garda at all? Is there a large police presence?
Actually, at the moment, no. The guards haven't actually honoured us with their presence, as you can just see. A Molotov just went off. So yeah, that's that. I think maybe this could be just the start of things getting a bit rough, but hopefully we can start seeing some police presence and getting some law and order resumed back onto the streets.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of people demonstrating, do any of them have an obvious political allegiance of any kind? Is there any? Because I know you've mentioned that the Sinn Féin leader is present in Glasgow. Are there more Sinn Féiners demonstrating right now? Are there any major political allegiances on the streets demonstrating?
Yeah, 100%. Like, maybe this is just because obviously I'm involved in politics and stuff and I just recognise names, but there are quite a few Sinn Féin members here. I don't see any names I recognise from Social Democrats. Fine Gael, I think there's one fella going about here and he's a member of Fine Gael. But it doesn't matter the party and their party allegiances. I think they all share the same kind of distrust with the system. So like obviously, they're annoyed that there's suspected electoral fraud and there's concerns that the results, it's just concerns that there's been tampering with the democracy, and I think people have completely the right to be annoyed at it. I'd be annoyed at it. I am annoyed at it. Like, it's never happened before, and yeah, as you can see behind me, people are starting to come out, and they're starting to come out in their droves to show their distrust and their displeasure with what's happened.
Mm-hmm. And one final thing to ask you before we cut away for a bit. Do the protesters and demonstrators have any particular demands at this moment in time?
I think at the moment there's no real... I think really everyone's kind of demanding for various things. There's stop the count, there's stop the steal, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think really there's just, I think maybe as the night goes on, when more people come, they'll become more of a unified voice and a unified message that they want something. But at the moment, it is very much kind of just a collection of people's different views and a bit of trolling and stuff, you know.
Thank you very much, Jamie. We will return to you later should there be any more developments in
No worries.
Glasgow.
All right, cheers.
Thank you, Jamie. It should be noted as well that earlier today there was actually 40 votes deducted from Sinn Féin in the Ipsos Mori exit poll, which could be an indicator of what's to come later tonight. So very soon we'll be bringing on people in the form of call-ins to give their opinion, their thoughts and analysis on the events that have happened tonight. Remember, you can get involved in the action through the hashtag provided on the NewsNow Twitter. Yeah, the hashtag is hashtag NewsNowRX. Please don't do just hashtag NewsNow. That wouldn't really work. But I've just been informed that we've now received the go-ahead from Ipsos Mori, who we've been collaborating with in order to deliver the exit poll, to release tonight's exit poll. And it must be remembered that due to this evening's reports of fraud, this may be inaccurate. Now, the exit poll is telling us now that Sinn Féin are predicted to win 9 seats in this election, followed by the Social Democrats 5 seats, Labour and Fine Gael in joint third place even with 3 seats, and Fianna Fáil in last place with 1 seat. As the exit poll results that we have received, I believe this will be the largest seat count for Sinn Féin in quite a while. This might be if this is true, obviously, this might be their largest seat count in their history and in Ireland's modern history. And what is interesting to me, at least, is to see Fianna Fáil receive 1 seat, which is down from 1. I imagine that will be taken up by Anthony Wellesley, who has become their leader after Arthur Brogan's exit from the party and his exit from the community. As we've mentioned, Fine Gael are also on 3 seats, which is 2 up from last time, led by Doug Dumbledome. After the last leader, Ryan Heathcote, who was the interim leader, resigned. The Social Democrats on 5 seats, which would be their lowest seat count since they were outside of government. Remember, the Social Democrats have been at the helm of Ireland and have been in government for the last 3 terms under Steve Quattick, Bearrock and Noah Finsby. And the Labour Party on 3 seats would be down from 4 seats previously, which they are still under their current leader, Lucy Quattick, of course. That's the exit poll as it's looking. Again, I must remind our viewers that the exit poll has been tampered with, and of course Sinn Féin had 40 votes deducted from our exit poll because of electoral frauds that had been taking place on our exit poll and suspected electoral fraud in the wider election itself. We'll be going back to Jamie just to quickly check up once again on the situation in Glasgow. Jamie, are you with us, please?
How you doing? Yeah, I'm still here. The crowds have actually started increasing quite a bit. As you can see, surrounded me. There's quite a few folks here. Starting to build up. The server's starting to fill out. A lot more Fine Gael faces are actually turning up. The Fine Gael leader, the new Fine Gael leader, actually, Doug is here. I was just chatting to him here before we went on air. Asking him about what he thought of the electoral fraud and stuff, and what he thought was going to happen tonight. He really just expressed the same thing that everyone's been saying, that they're concerned that it's going to turn violent. That there's a real concern because there's been quite a few Molotovs thrown about here and quite a few shootings since you last left me, so it's starting to heat up a wee bit. But as I was saying, Doug was saying that he's concerned that the suggested electoral fraud will obviously reflect badly on the whole Irish democratic process, and I think that's totally fair. That's just the Fine Gael approach. And well, he's placing the blame on Sinn Féin, but that's completely unfounded at the moment, as the Electoral Commission came out and said. So yeah, basically that's all that's happening. It is still quite calm, but things are starting to heat up here.
Mhm.
But
Has there
yeah,
been a reaction at all from people in Glasgow at the exit poll? Has there been a reaction? Is anyone angry? Is there happiness at all at the exit poll results?
yeah, when you just you announced them there, I think the Sinn Féin leader was quite happy. There's there's a little crowd of them here in the corner, and there was a few shouts there, and they seemed quite content with it. But Fine Gael, I don't know. Doug said obviously it's it's a poll. It's not the real thing. So he believes that his party will claw back and that they will get a lot higher than what's suggested. So he seems quite optimistic, but mixed emotions. I think obviously because there's quite a diverse crowd here and there's a few clashes going on. So it'll be interesting to see if it'll bubble over into something a little bit more. Oh God, there's some just got shot. Something a little bit more violent.
Yes. Speaking of violence, as mentioned earlier, you said that there is not a massive police or military presence right now. Has that changed in the last 5 or so minutes? Are there more police and military on the streets amidst growing violence?
Yeah, the guards have just actually showed up. I think it's a one-man band at the moment, but he was just shot right in front of me. So yeah, it's kind of just, I think people are just waiting to see what happens. They've just set it on light as well. Great. It's just one of those nights. Everything just seems to be going a bit hectic at the moment. But yeah, no, the guards they've just one van out at the moment. It's just a one-man band. There's not many people out. I think obviously as the server grows and there's more, the word gets about that there's riots. There'll be more presence, but at the moment it's quite limited. But yeah, so it was just wait and see what happens. But there's quite a lot of different views going on at the moment, as you can see right behind me.
And one final question. Obviously, you've mentioned quite a bit about party leaders coming out and condemning suspected electoral fraud that's happened in this election. Have there been any other comments from party leaders at this point in time?
Well, really, it's quite limited at the moment. There's just Valor and there's Doug here, but both have seemed quite. There we go. Both seem quite committed towards their belief that this is just not the Irish way of doing things, and that they completely condemn it, and that they really hope that the Electoral Commission will be able to sort it, and that the result that we get is the real true result, and that it will not happen again. And that, well, I think it was quite important to note what Doug said. He just said that the people that did this and the people behind this, they aren't Ireland, and that as a community we are the advocates for democracy, and that we shouldn't allow them to win, And I think that kind of resilience is something that should be noted. I've seen that a couple of times. Quite a few people have brought it up, so I think it's quite an interesting one.
And in Glasgow right now, has anyone pointed the blame at anyone else? Has there been any? Has there been any finger pointing at the in Glasgow right now?
Well, I mean, like I just said, Doug's blaming Doug's blaming the Sinn Féin. But Sinn Féin is quite committed in saying that they believe that will be sorted and that no one's to blame. It's just road participants, not non-party actors. But Fine Gael seems pretty quick to blame Sinn Féin, so I'm not sure if that's something that we'll see throughout the term. A very anti Sinn Féin approach from maybe opposition parties. I'm not sure. It just depends. But yeah, that's all as we've got at the moment. There's quite a lot of Sinn Féin supporters here, so he's quite bold to come out and say something like that.
Thank you very much, Jamie. We'll come back to you later if you have any more developments for us in Glasgow.
No worries.
Right. So now we have a guest here at the table. We have Killian with us today, who is the deputy leader of Fine Gael. Killian, how are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alright, okay, good. I'm doing good, and yourself?
Yes, I'm quite good. So I've got a couple of questions for you today. So obviously we've now come to terms with the fact that there has been some form of election fraud that has taken place in this election, or suspected electoral fraud. What are your thoughts about that? How are you feeling about it?
I'm just gonna say what we're all thinking, honestly. I mean, last time we heard reports of electoral fraud, my beautiful, wonderful father, yeah, I'm gonna say father, good choice of words, he went on a lawsuit against the one and only Sinn Féin, and it was successful. Big, big success, huge. People celebrated out in the streets of Middletown and Glasgow. So I'm just gonna say what we're all thinking. Sinn Féin is sus. I hope they're not the imposter. I hope that's not the case, but they're very sus. That's all I'm gonna say. I've nothing else to say on that.
So I think it's fair to suggest that you're pointing the blame at Sinn Féin then.
You could say that, or maybe that's what I want you to think.
I mean, what do you want me to? What do you want me to think? Yeah.
No,
Who are you
I
accusing?
want you to think Valorist is to blame. I mean, he's definitely important to all the votes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Do you think he's behind the electoral fraud?
No, to tell you the honest to God truth, I don't know, because all the parties have had pretty realistic growth. I mean, Labour, they've been successful, and we only have what, I think 3 seats or something in the exit poll. The exit poll is out, isn't it? I don't know.
It is.
Yeah, I heard they have like 3 votes in the exit poll. I don't know. That's also kind of weird, but this could go any way. I have no idea, honestly, because this election has been. I mean, it's not been too competitive, no toxicity, but it's been really incredibly weird. I've never contested any election like it.
And just to quickly ask, obviously the exit poll results show that Fine Gael will be on 3 seats, the equivalent on par with Labour even. Just a personal question I want to ask you: do you feel any remorse at all for leaving the Labour Party?
I mean, this is going to sound completely unbelievable, but part of me does. I mean, I had lots of friends in that party. I led it before. I led it with great passion. It's beautiful, but I did. I didn't leave. Obviously, yeah, Killian party hopper, haha, funny. It's not really decisions I take off the bat. Like, there was thought put into it, and I was encouraged to go head over to Fine Gael. And I suppose that doesn't help my case when I say head over as opposed to depart. But head over Fine Gael, reboot it, get it up, active, ready to contest an election. And I think at the end of the day, I don't know, I wouldn't regret leaving Labour. I mean, I took the tough decision to help contribute to politics, and if I went back in time, I would do it again. I have remorse, obviously. I'm not completely spineless, but I don't regret it.
And another quick question, or rather a final question I'd like to ask you. Do you see a way for Fine Gael to get power? Do you see a path to power for your party?
Okay, going off the exit poll, I actually do. I mean, Fine Gael has been in opposition for a really long time. It hasn't been going too good. I think often the case with parties like that, last resort is to, I don't know, really enter government as your partner get some clout, maybe good in their chosen departments. And obviously, like I said, this is completely unpredictable. I have no idea what's going to happen. So who I'm coalitioning with, I have no idea. It could go either way at the end of the evening. Could go into tomorrow even, but I'll do whatever needs be to not just further Fine Gael's growth, which sounds bad, but obviously whatever I think is right for the country.
Thank you very much, Killian, for coming on. Good luck to your party, of course, and have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
We're now going to go back to Jamie really quickly to check on Glasmoor and to see if there's been any further developments. Jamie, you with us?
Hi, Dean. Yeah, there's actually been quite a few. That's starting to get quite violent here at the moment, actually. You just missed it. There's quite a lot of fire on the street. I think I witnessed maybe 3 people getting arrested, and maybe there's more guards down at the moment as well. So we've got 2 units down. So I think they're trying to gain control. But I know just up the street, 1 unit has blocked the street to try and prevent people coming back down towards where I am. But yeah, things are starting to get a bit heated. There's been quite a bit of shooting going on, and quite a lot of shouting for stop the count and stop the state, that sort of stuff. So that's what's currently going on. But it's still quite unorganised. There's quite a lot of cars being built up in areas and stuff like that. But at the moment, yeah, it's starting to go a wee bit mad.
Do the demonstrators currently outnumber the guards?
Oh, 100%. I think it's safe to say that they number them 2-1. Like, genuinely, I think there needs to be a stronger guard presence. With the amount of Molotovs that's flying about and the amount of gunfighting that's going on, I think it's safe to say, just literally around the corner from where I am, they've blocked off the whole street, and that's really safe to say paramilitaries. Well, I'll assume they're paramilitaries because they're wearing paramilitary uniforms. Have controlled that section of the town, and the guards can't seem to get through it. But,
have we seen any?
yeah.
Have you seen? Oh, sorry. Have you seen any party leaders at all while you've been in Glasgow? Have they been caught up in the fighting?
Valier's here and Doug's here. No one else has joined at the moment. I think I know Sequatic was talking about coming down. Obviously, he's not a party leader, but he has quite strong ties with the Social Democrats. But there's I can't see any Social Democrat presence here at all. Maybe they're just keeping away so they don't get blamed for anything. But the fellow behind me here, he's Charles. I think he's the chairman of Sinn Féin, and he was saying how he believes that the whole thing is just a complete sham, and that those that are blaming Sinn Féin, well, maybe they should look at themselves, and maybe it's actually them. I know. He heard the interview there with Killian, and where they blamed Sinn Féin, and he wasn't too happy about it.
That's all the questions I have for now for you, Jamie. We'll come back later. Do stay safe. Try not to take 2 bullets to the chest.
No, I'm trying my best. Yeah.
Yeah, so we will see you soon, Jamie.
All right, cheers.
Righty. We do want to quickly tell our viewers that we have received a statement from the leader of Sinn Féin. He has told us now that the following statement. He has said, quote, "I know I probably should not do this for just an exit poll, but thank you for making your voice heard from the bottom of my heart. I was leader of Sinn Féin last year at our lowest point, where I stabilised our party for the next leaders to carry on, and now I'm seeing leadership that has brought our party into true future. 9 seats are amazing, and let's hope it carried on into the election. Thank you." This is a statement from the chairman, of Sinn Féin. My mistake, chairman, leader. But yes, it's from the chairman of Sinn Féin, statement right there on the exit poll results. We're now going to go on to a few tweets now from our viewers who are engaging with our current. I believe I'm receiving breaking news right now. Actually, we are receiving breaking news. I just need to quickly listen out for this. We've got the Taoiseach confirming to NewsNow right now that the Garda public order has deployed. The Garda has public order deployed, and the IDF is currently on standby. The Taoiseach has confirmed that to us right now. The caretaker Taoiseach, Noah Finsby, that has just been confirmed to NewsNow that the Defence Forces are on standby and that the Garda public order are being deployed to Glasgow. It's quite a development, especially in Glasgow right now, which is seeing quite a lot of violence, especially from our correspondent Jamie in the field. As you're probably seeing on the screen right now, there is quite a heavy amount of violence, quite a few clashes between demonstrators and the Guard happening and transpiring right now on our helicopter view of Glasgow. Hopefully it is showing for our viewers. But yes, we have indeed just been told that the IDF, the Irish Defence Forces, will be on standby to tackle and to deal with the demonstrations that are currently happening within Glasgow. I have also just received personally a statement from the leader of Fine Gael, and he has said the following statement, saying that Fine Gael views the suspicion of counting votes as unlawful and an obstruction of our democratic systems. We demand answers, and we need them now. I've been told that, be given that statement from the leader of Fine Gael, Doug Dumbledome, right now, that has been sent straight to NewsNow, which is quite a development. Safe to say that the result's definitely going to be in doubt for the rest of the day. I mean, yeah, that's definitely a fact of the matter that there'll be a lot of doubt surrounding the election results. We'll quickly call on Jamie. We will not pan the camera to him, but we'll quickly call him in from our communications. Jamie, how is it on the ground? Are you still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here. I think I've just died like 6 times. Yeah, it's getting heated. I think I just heard rumors there going about that all the protesters are all meeting at the park and they're going to march towards the town. So I think we can expect an organised march now. But things have got really rough. I think I've just seen maybe about 6-7 people just get exploded with a bomb in front of me. So yeah, that tone is starting to take. I think we can expect a rough night here in Glasgow.
And how's it going for you personally? Have you had to have any courageous moments of saving yourself?
I mean, I would most certainly try to save myself if I wasn't stuck in a box. But yeah, no. So thanks to the Adams for trying to save me, but it hasn't worked about 6 times. But yeah, no, it's starting to get a wee bit heated here. So it'll be interesting to see if they can try and organise themselves and have an actual organised march instead of throwing Molotovs at each other. But like I said, the guards have completely blocked off the town. There's no way in and out. There's more for Gardaí presence now. I think they're just following people about to make sure it doesn't get violent. But as I said, these skirmishes here and skirmishes there.
Mm-hmm. And have you seen any public order members of the Guard out yet? As we've received from the Taoiseach that they are being deployed to Glasgow. Have you seen any yet?
Well, they haven't reached it here yet, and I mean, there's a few plainclothes Gardaí out, in their normal duty uniforms and stuff, but I haven't seen any riot shields or any public order ones out yet at the moment, but I can expect them in a couple of minutes, I'd say, if things keep going the way they are.
Mm-hmm. And has the obviously we heard earlier that the IDF are currently on standby. Have you all seen any IDF moving into the area to station themselves in order to respond to the demonstrations?
No, I actually haven't, but I can't imagine it'll be long considering there's 2 buildings now currently on fire, 3 buildings currently on fire beside me, and so yeah, things have definitely taken a violent toll here. So I'm not sure how long they can hold off with martial law and emergency powers and all that kind of stuff. Especially considering how violent things are getting here. People's homes are currently on fire, so that kind of tells you the tone that things are starting to get. I think I'm dead again. So I think that's really the tone that things are taking. So I think maybe some public order might definitely be needed. So I really do plead that they soon come down because things are starting to get a bit out of hand.
All right, thank you very much. Oh wait, I've got one last question for you, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, one last question. Obviously, I asked you earlier about the political affiliation of the demonstrators. Obviously, we've seen members of Fine Gael sort of toss at least Killian earlier, sort of hint, or at least jokingly hint towards Sinn Féin being behind the fraud. But a question I have for you is, are a lot of the demonstrators from Sinn Féin? Has that makeup of political affiliation changed at all?
I think it's actually become just a complete free-for-all here at the moment. I mean, there's quite a lot of Sinn Féin presence here, but it's starting to get mixed. I've seen a few Social Democrats down, and I've seen a few Labour, actually, all of which I think they're all kind of pointing the blame at Sinn Féin, which is quite a bold move considering, they all have to work with them. There's people right in front of me at the moment, and they're talking about Sinn Féin. I can't repeat what they're saying, but yeah. So I think things are starting to get a bit heated here between Sinn Féin and the other party members. So it'll be interesting to see if that will overflow or what will happen. But yeah, it seems to be quite a lot of distrust in Sinn Féin still, despite Valor's attempts to try and reimagine and reimage the party into this, obviously remove its paramilitary links. Obviously, people still see it as that party that they can't trust, which is a real shame. But yeah, that's the way things seem to be going here at the moment.
Mm-hmm. That's all I have to ask you for now, Jamie. Like I said, please do stay safe. It does look quite brutal out there. Get to cover. Keep your press vest on. But yes, right, we'll come back to Jamie very soon. But we are receiving a phone call now from the leader of Sinn Féin, Valorist, from a secure location. Obviously, we saw him earlier in Glasgow, but we are now going to have a phone call with him. Valorist, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello, Valorist. So what are your thoughts on the events transpiring in Glasgow right now, seeing as you've seen them firsthand?
I'm here. They just got me to a secure location. I I can't believe what I'm seeing, to be honest. Of course, we had the riots around Christmas time last year, and those were shocking, but if I'm seriously honest with you, I'd say this is worse. I've seen at least 5 people get killed, and that's harrowing.
Now, I just need to also quickly ask you, obviously we've seen a lot of demonstrations today, violent demonstrations, as you've mentioned. You've seen 5 people get killed alone. Will you openly condemn all, including Sinn Féin rioters, that have been attacking and killing in the streets of Glasgow?
Oh, I can tell you now, none of these rioters represent Sinn Féin, and if they say they do, they do not. Of course, I condemn any and all of this. This is shocking. I don't want to see any of this. Of course, I would never want any of this from my members. They give the party a terrible image, and most of all, they provide pain to the nation of Ireland.
I mean, as Jamie pointed out earlier, he did see quite a few, at least Sinn Féin aligned protesters alongside Labour ones as well. So you do openly condemn them for rioting despite supporting your party?
Of course, I openly condemn them. Like I say, if they're out there fighting, throwing Molotovs, killing innocents, they are no supporter of our party.
And just to quickly ask you a question about the election and about your sort of hope to take government for Sinn Féin for the first time ever, and how hopeful of that are you, considering that Sinn Féin is predicted, according to the exit poll, to get 9 seats in this election?
Of course, I'm grateful for every vote I get, but if I'm completely honest with you, 9 votes to me is a disappointment. Of course, the Social Democrats completely collapsed, and we've only been able to take, 4 seats off them. To me, that is a failure. That's a loss.
Understandable. So if the exit poll is true, and I must obviously repeat to our viewers that 40 Sinn Féin votes were deducted from the exit poll, do you see that you will make an agreement with other parties? And if you fail to get an agreement or fail to take government for Sinn Féin, especially considering you're calling sort of the exit poll results, if they come true, a failure, will you resign as Sinn Féin leader if you do not take government?
Oh no, I'm resigning is not an option. I've only been here for 3 months. No way.
So you won't resign even if the tides turn against you?
If the exit poll comes out and says that Sinn Féin have 1 seat, I still wouldn't resign.
All right, bold, staying out until the end. But in all seriousness, who would you work out an agreement with if you had to?
Well, I've said time and time again in the days leading up to this election, I trust no party except for my own to govern this country. Of course, we've all seen what's happened to the Social Democrats. Labour, they propped up that terrible Social Democrat government last term, and I don't really know where their true priorities lie. And of course, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, they speak for themselves. So generally, I don't want to make a coalition with anyone unless it would be extremely favourable terms. Simple as.
Right. I find it curious that you sort of speak of the Labour Party in that language, because within the at sort of Leinster House and within the Dáil, you were quite supportive when members of the Labour Party, including the leader Lucy Craddock, sort of denounced the government and denounced Noah Finsby. So what prompts the change in language? Because it seems you're quite supportive of Labour when they were dissing the Social Democrats, but now you're completely turning against them.
Oh, of course, I'll support anyone for opening their eyes. That's how it is. You know, if you finally make that judgment that the Social Democrats are not good for the country, you have no confidence in them, which they did, then of course I'm going to be happy about that. I'm going to say, here, good decision. But at the end of the day, they still propped up that government. They still stuck out until, of course, what ended up being the end. They stood by Noah's side until that final session, and that I just couldn't understand. Why is it taking you that long to realise this government is going to take you nowhere? That's just my personal thoughts, and because of that, I've come to the judgment Labour are just not correct for this country.
I see. And one final question before we sort of tab out and give you a chance to get to an even safer location, considering the violence at Glasgow. The final question I have for you is: you've said you won't resign, obviously, if the tide turns against you. If you don't secure government. So the question I've got to ask you is, what makes you want to hold out?
Because I trust in my party and I trust in my own leadership. I know that I can take Sinn Féin places, and if this election isn't that, then I don't see why I'd leave. I don't see why I'd quit. I'm not a quitter. You know, I don't run away from a challenge. I always want to make better of myself, and I want to keep doing that at Sinn Féin, even if these election results are disappointing.
Thank you very much, Valorist. Do try to get to a safer location. I'm sure the guard will escort you to a much safer location. But yes, do take care of yourself, and good luck in the election.
You too, goodbye, Dean.
Thank you very much. That was the leader of Sinn Féin, Valorist, for those just tuning in. I received a statement from the former chairman of Fine Gael right now, before we head on to the later parts of our broadcast, and he has told NewsNow right now that he is disappointed in individuals who have taken it upon themselves to rig our exit poll, which I believe that lawful action should be taken against them. In addition to this, for clarification, please do not blame it on any party until a confirmation has been confirmed of this. That's the former chairman of Fine Gael and former senator talking to NewsNow right now. We'll just quickly touch on one tweet before we get further into our broadcast. We do have a tweet here from Jeremy Bruce, or more popularly, also known as Scrap Cookie, us through our hashtag now. What could have been a superior election turnout has been holders who wish to stop our electoral system. We will not let them win. We stand tonight not as opposition to government, but as the Irish people. God bless you all. And once again, that is a statement from Scrap Cookie, who is a member of Sinn Féin and a deputy of their party prior to the dissolution of the Oireachtas. I believe we do have some news coming in right now in regards to developments happening within Glasmore. As we're checking right now, we're just getting confirmation that the guards are apparently lining up at their station in Glasmore, or at least they're currently present, and one must assume working out a strategy to tackle the rising violence and demonstrations in the area. So we're going to quickly call in with Jamie to see what's going on. Jamie, are you with us?
Hi, Dean. Yeah, I've actually had to move to a safer location because things were getting that a bit hectic. So thank God for Jules. But anyways, yeah, I was chatting to a few officers actually, and they informed me basically that the guards, their full intention here is to line up. So they're all going back to the station. They're going to line up, and they're going to come out in full public order gear. I think that's the plan. I know I was chatting to other sources higher up within the service, and they were saying the same thing, very much that they have a plan in place. They've trained for this sort of thing, and that's why we don't see them really descending upon the town yet. They're gathering their forces up so that they can be better prepared and better equipped for what's occurring. Because as I was saying, it's an absolute battlefield out there at the moment. Houses are burning, vehicles are burning. You can't get onto the streets without either being burnt or being shot. So that's currently that's the stage we're at. It's starting to get very, very violent. There's quite a lot of, I think, paramilitaries are starting to get in there now, and they're starting to whip it up. And obviously that's going to lead to more issues, and it's going to lead it to become more marginalised and divided. So going away from the whole electoral thing will become more, societal issues and stuff like that. There are things that we've seen in previous riots. So I think it's kind of drifting away from the whole electoral issue now, and I think it's just becoming a major, it's a riot and we want to get involved thing. I think people are just joining for fun rather than the actual issues at hand.
As you've just mentioned that there's paramilitaries on the streets. Can you confirm to us that the 80D or the 32?
Yeah, 100%. I've seen a couple of them actually down. So it's quite.
Are you with us, Jamie?
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me all right? Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
I believe.
Yeah. Hello.
I believe.
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me all right?
Apologies, I believe we've just experienced some technical problems. I apologise. Jamie, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
All right. So we just experienced some technical problems here at headquarters with our camera shot. I apologise. I believe our crews will be on it right now. So you mentioned that there are paramilitaries currently at Glasmore. Can you confirm to us then that that the 32 or the 80D are currently at Glasmore? And if so, what are they doing there? Do they have a message of their own?
I think I've actually seen both down. I've seen there's quite a lot of uniforms that I'm starting to recognise here, so it's quite concerning to see some even older uniforms coming out. Yeah, no, they all seem to be. Well, obviously, it's the loyalisms and the Republican paramilitaries are starting to come out. And I think even ones I've noticed quite a lot of British citizens starting to arrive here, which is quite interesting. I'm not sure how the word got that far, but yeah, I've noticed that they've started getting involved. Obviously shouting things like "God Save the Queen" and all that there, and then Brits Out is being shouted as well. So it's starting to get quite heated. But yeah, so I think it's quite concerning to see paramilitaries getting involved. But like I said, it's starting to get so violent that I actually have had to move because you can't even see my screen was just complete red. So yeah, houses are burning, people are being shot. I think I've seen maybe about 8 or 9 people now being killed. I've seen maybe about 6 arrests, but mostly it is being guards being killed. Gardaí just, I think they're overwhelmed, and I think that's why they're building themselves up at the station somewhere more sealed off and more secluded so that they can try and build up their strength and be better prepared. But yeah, I've seen maybe a couple of people come out and come to me and are just in absolute disbelief that this is happening in their town, Like, we had riots there, just before Christmas? And obviously they were horrible, but I think these are a lot worse. I think people are really angry at what happened, and they want to see justice. They want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. They want their voices heard. And I think that's great that people are getting involved, but I think they need to maybe calm down a bit. I think this is starting to get way out of hand, and I think that we need some law and order in these streets. Like, seriously, someone needs to come down here and do something.
Mm-hmm. And just another quick question. How has the Garda response been so far? Have they have things escalated? Has the public order section finally been brought in? And if so, what's their response been? Has there been shots fired from the Guard?
Yeah, obviously shots have been fired, arrests have been made, attempted arrests have been made, but they're just completely overwhelmed. I don't even think it's the organisation's fault. I think it's just they didn't expect to be so overwhelmed, and it happened so quickly that they just don't seem to be able to cope. I think they're just completely overwhelmed and maybe inadequate, and just aren't well equipped for what's occurring. Obviously with riots, it's a fluid nature, but yeah. So I feel sorry for them. Like, it's not their fault. It's just what's happened, and it's one of those situations. It's no matter what you do, you can't do the right thing. And I think it's a real test, and I completely commend them for coming out onto the streets and attempting to try and bring some law and order. So hats off to them, and Godspeed, because I would not want to be them right now.
Mm-hmm. That's all the questions I have for you right now. I think, again, as I always keep saying, do stay safe and try not to get shot. I believe you did mention earlier that you've been shot quite a few times, so do try keep safe. I believe we'll now keep on going with our broadcast. We'll bring in some more tweets of people using our hashtag once we bring them in. But I must also say, as I've been saying throughout the broadcast, that for those who are just tuning in, that there is suspected electoral fraud in the Irish election results, and that there has been electoral fraud has taken place on the exit poll results, in which 40 Sinn Féin votes were deducted as a result. And regardless of that, the exit poll is predicting Sinn Féin on 9 seats, with the Social Democrats in second place with 5 seats, Fine Gael and the Labour Party in joint third on 3 seats, and with Fianna Fáil in last place with their 1 seat, down from 1 seat. Or rather, they had 2 last term and are now down on 1. We can now confirm, in fact, while we wait on the tweets to be brought in, that the public order has been deployed. They have been deployed to Glasmoor. They have been sighted. Pictures have been sent in to NewsNow confirming their presence in Glasmoor, which is in line with the Taoiseach's announcement earlier this evening that they would be deployed in order to tackle the demonstrations and riots taking place in Glasmoor as a result of the suspected electoral fraud in the election. We're going to try bring some of the images on the screen right now, or is the main image that we have been sent. The photo was taken supposedly on Novak Street in Glasgow, showing several members, or quite a large group of public order guard members. And judging from the photo, it was taken by the former chairman of Fine Gael Network Crawshaw, or Net Crawshaw rather. We have received a statement right now from the General Secretary of Sinn Féin, who has sent this following statement to NewsNow. Sinn Féin as a party, and me as a member, call for an immediate end to violence. Peaceful protests are a tool in our democracy to be used when a group of people believe justice hasn't been served. Violence has no place in modern day politics. Apologies. Stop the violence. If you believe this election is a fraud, you can protest peacefully, but we Sinn Féin point out that this must be peaceful only. The Sinn Féin party has no problem with protests that are peaceful. It's a way of democracy. No more violence. This is a statement from Liam Connolly, who is the General Secretary of Sinn Féin. And a quick summary of that statement is that Sinn Féin are calling for an end to violence, and they are solely calling for peaceful protest in regards to the suspected electoral fraud that has been taking place in this election. We're going to quickly cut to Jamie while we wait on more call-ins throughout the night. And we've also just received news that I believe he is about to bring us. Jamie, can you tell us what's going on? Can you tell us the news?
Hi, Dean. Yeah, so basically, at the moment, I think I just heard word really that a dispersal order has been given. Basically, on Novak Street, it's mental at the moment. It's completely blocked off. There's ambulances there, there's Gardaí there, there's the public order officers there. They're completely blocked the street. It's a complete standoff. But they have released a dispersal order for that street in particular, that if they don't leave, that they will start being arrested or even killed if deemed a threat. So I think it's really taking things up a notch.
I've got to cut you off, Jamie, I'm afraid. I've got to cut you off. I really do apologise. But we have just received a statement from the Taoiseach on Twitter, who has just stated the following statement, which is that he's urging all citizens to remain calm and try to stay out of danger. He continues by asking citizens to please be patient with the election results and work with law enforcement and emergency services who are there to keep you safe. This is a statement from Noah Finsby, who's the current caretaker Taoiseach of Ireland. He's urging citizens to remain calm, to stay out of danger, and to cooperate with law enforcement and our emergency services. That is what we've currently received from the Taoiseach. Obviously, earlier he told NewsNow, and we can now confirm that he has deployed public order guards to the public order guard to Glasgow in order to disperse rioters. As Jamie was saying right there, the guard have announced a dispersal order, and they have followed up by saying that those who do not disperse will be arrested. So this is quite an escalation that is happening in Glasgow right now. Definitely an escalation. Scenes that we haven't seen since the New Year's Rising, which I personally was involved in. We've not seen these scenes in quite a while. We'll quickly go back to James just for an update to see that he's doing all right. James, you still there? You still safe?
Yeah, I'm still there and I'm still in peace, so thank God for that. Yeah, So Novak Street is just a no-go at the moment. I think that whole area is a no-go. So anyone that is in Glasgow, I plead to you to keep away, because this is a complete and utter mess. And the street's completely blocked off. There's no way getting in or out, and I think they're actually starting to expand the cordon. I was talking to one official actually out of the guards, and their plan is to actually increase the vicinity of the cordon to include other streets around the area, because they believe that there's quite a large gathering on the other side of the town. They believe that it's going to become quite violent and it's just approaching towards the guards. So I think it's even for their own safety and the people in the area that they increase the vicinity of the cordon in belief that it will deter people. But yeah, at the moment, Novak Street is a no-go. So don't even try to get near it.
We'll come back to you later, James. We're definitely going to be sporadically returning to you and back. We have just received a statement from the ATD, also known as the 32, which are a paramilitary and terrorist group in Ireland, and they've released the following statement saying that they are there to combat the Guard Public Order Unit, and that they are politically aligned with Sinn Féin. They've also followed that by saying that they've seen the way they've dealt with rioters, and they've seen members of their organisation and regular citizens going about their day abused and beaten with rifles heavy-handed. This will not go unpunished. Definitely a very threatening statement from the ATD happening right now. So we're seeing quite an escalation, a word that I'm definitely going to be using quite a lot tonight. We're going to go straight back to Jamie. Jamie, you still there? Are you good?
Yeah, all good. Things are getting very heated here. I believe an IED, don't quote me on this, it's just a rumour, but a suspected device has went off on Novak Street, and there's been multiple casualties, even deaths.
We've been asked to stand by. The stream has just gone down. We've just been asked to pause. Yeah, we need to pause. Stream's fucked. Is it all good? We apologise for what has just happened. I believe we experienced a little bit of technical difficulties here at headquarters. Jamie, you still with us? Is the communication link still up?
Yeah, I believe so. As I was saying, there's a suspected device that just went off on Novak Street. I could actually hear the bang itself from where I am, way out in the country here. I've had quite a lot of my phone's blown up. It's just basically saying that there has been casualties, even deaths, mainly from emergency services personnel. Sadly, obviously people just there doing their job, and they've just been caught up in it all, which is awful. But yes, an IED, a suspected IED, has went up on Novak Street and has completely wiped out the public orders officers that were there. But things are quite calm where I am at the moment, but I can hear gunshots and everything going on in the background. I was chatting to Nat Crusher, actually. I believe he was, I think he was the chairman of Fine Gael. He's the former chairman of Fine Gael. And he was saying that he's out at the moment and it's going mental. I believe there's a small group actually starting to gather at the Parochial Hall, and they're starting to say prayers and hope that things will start to de-escalate. There's one member said that they were chatting to the Archbishop of Dublin, and the Archbishop has pleaded. Now, it's an indirect quote coming from word of mouth, but that the Archbishop has pleaded that people will stay at home and stay away, and that things will calm down and people will come to their senses, and says that he is praying for the people of Ireland. So God bless that man for a bit of sense. But things are starting to become very, very heated here. So I'm not sure what way this will turn, but I pray to God that it will calm down a wee bit.
Mm-hmm. And just a quick follow-up question to all of that. What? This is the part where I completely forget my question. I apologise to you, Jamie. Just a quick follow-up question, I suppose. So you mentioned that an IED went off on Novak Street, and that happened pretty much just as we got the statement from the ATD. Do you think it's safe to say that there is now open warfare between the ATD and the Guard on the street?
I think it would be no surprise if that was the case. I think the amount of grenades that's being thrown at the moment is actually insane. But yes, I think it's very safe to make the assumption that there are elements within paramilitary groups that are here that are targeting the guards, and as a result, bombs that are currently going off would be attributed to them. Obviously, there's no proof to say so, and it's not our job to speculate on that. But I think it would be a very factual and a very sound assumption to make, and I think it's fair to say that, especially given their statement and their evidence displeasure towards the guards. It would be no surprise. But Novak Street is just mental at the moment. I can actually see a live stream here of it. It's complete warfare. Like, it is genuine, just complete and utter warfare. So God help whoever's down there at the moment. I'm really feeling for it.
Now, this is more of a personal question to you now. Obviously, in the statement by the ATD, they claimed that they were, quote, politically aligned with Sinn Féin. And obviously, as you mentioned earlier, there were quite a few Sinn Féin demonstrators taking action against the Guard. Do you think that the Sinn Féin demonstrators from earlier are at all connected with the ATD? Do we think there is collusion happening in Glasgow right now to take on the Guard?
I mean, I know in the past, Sinn Féin has always been connected to Republican paramilitaries, and it's been what they've been known for. I think Gallagher has definitely tried his best to stop that and to try and distinguish his party away from that. Now, whether that has worked or not, I'm not sure, because obviously, as the saying goes, old habits die hard. So, it would be a fair assumption to make that it could very well be the case. I don't think we'll ever really know that, but it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. Sadly, it wouldn't surprise me, and I think that's a real shame, especially for Valor, because he's trying so hard to reimagine his party and stuff. But there are quite a lot of Republican paramilitaries down at the moment. There's quite a lot of people, like Sinn Féin supporters, coming down, obviously cheering on their party and stuff, and they're getting, I've seen quite a few through Molotovs. So whether that is they're representing their party or not, I'm not sure, and what the official party line is on that, but that is what I've seen anyway, personally, and I know quite a few others have seen it as well. But yeah, that's just a statement I'm making. I'm politically neutral, and of course, but that's what I viewed. So it's quite concerning, especially considering the attempts by Valor to distinguish his party away from Republican paramilitaries, as well as been long linked to. I'm sure you remember it, Dean, that you mentioned Sinn Féin, and it was always constantly in your head being like, yeah, they're all Republicans, like they're all in the IRA or whatever, like, it was always that case. So it's quite sad to see that, but I think that's just the joys.
Yes, thank you very much, Jamie. Believe that's all we'll need from you tonight. Do get to a safe location, as I keep telling you. Get out the fighting, get on the next cab out of there quickly. But yes, have a good day, Jamie. We are now going to accept a call-in from Ashton Crawshaw, who is going to speak to us now. Is Ashton with us at all? Can we get Ashton in by any chance? Ashton, are you with us?
Hello?
Hello, Ashton. Right, how are you? What are your thoughts on the events?
I am good. What's your question?
What are your thoughts on what's happening in Glasgow right now?
I think the IDF needs to be called to do their job.
So you're calling in. So you're calling for the IDF to be deployed now.
I think someone needs to do their job and get this shit under control.
Is that an attack on the Taoiseach?
Which T-shirt? Wait, hold on. What are the results? Have they been announced yet?
Not yet.
Do I see 9 next to Sinn Féin?
That is the exit poll results. 9 for Sinn Féin.
Oh, but...
Yeah, 9 for Sinn Féin. So what are your thoughts on the exit poll now that you brought it up? What are your thoughts?
I think someone needs to grasp control real quick and make sure this shit don't happen.
Right. Now, just to ask, I suppose, if you're allowed to say, did you have any political allegiance in this election? Did you have any preferred?
Yeah, I do.
party that
Yeah,
you
I do
supported?
have political allegiance. Yeah.
To who, by any chance?
So I I voted Fine Gael.
Fine Gael. I see. Any
Fine
particular
Gael,
reason
yeah.
why?
Yeah, I voted Fine Gael.
Right. Any particular reason why?
Yeah, because so I know I'm associated with a certain previous government. However, despite recent events and everything what has came light within the last month or so, I would say that no party seems to be strong enough to lead.
Mm-hmm. And just to get your thoughts really quickly on the suspected electoral fraud, do you think anyone is to blame for the electoral fraud? Do you have any guesses?
Yeah, I do think someone's to blame, and Jeff R. Maltby is to blame. And a
Any
lot
particular reason?
of people right now are going to be saying, "Who is Jeff R. Maltby, and why is Jeff R. Maltby to blame?" But look, I'm a reporter for Anglo-Irish News, right? And trust me, if anyone knows anything, Jeff R. Maltby is to blame. Period.
All right, I think that's all we'll have from you, Ashton. It's been great.
It's probably for the best.
having
It's probably
you
for the
here.
best. It's probably for the best.
Yeah, it definitely is. Have a good day,
Yeah.
Ashton, and please lay off the alcohol for a bit. See you later. Now, I believe that's all the coverage we have tonight on the events that have transpired in Glasgow. I have just been told, as our, I suppose, final bit of news, that the Irish Islamic Council are hosting a Dua session at the Masjid in Glasgow. Yes, I believe the Irish Islamic Council are hosting their own event during this. Now, do stay tuned for election results either tonight or tomorrow morning. Do stay tuned. After all, it's why we're here, and it's why the events that happened today happened. So do stay tuned for those. This has been Dinar Heathcote reporting from NewsNow on the events in Glasgow.